Welcome to Africa Insight. In this week's video, I'm joined by my colleague Theo Klein, who's from our consulting team. So now, as you know, at Oxford Economics, we have a whole list of services from macroeconomic forecasting, political risk forecasting, and we have a consulting team. So Theo, could you tell us what consulting is? Give us an idea what you guys do, just for the general viewer.
Yeah. I think in a nutshell, we essentially help clients answer questions. So our clients could be governments, it could be private companies, NGOs or international donor organizations. And they either approach us with a question that they have or uncertainties about an opportunity that they want to pursue, or maybe they just want to understand risks better before they engage in a project. And then essentially our research has to help them make a decision. So through the research that we do and that we package in a report for our clients, that then drives investment and socioeconomic development across Africa. And we do this through either market or sectoral or economic research.
Yeah.
We also do macro and socioeconomic impact assessments, and we also do risks and opportunity evaluation. And then we package all of that together in a report.
Yes.
That then helps our clients make decisions.
Okay.
And obviously they can then have greater confidence when they make their decisions,
Yeah.
because it's backed by our economic research.
Okay, very interesting. Then in building on that, I know you guys were recently involved in quite a big project with Casablanca Finance City. Could you maybe give us a gist of what that report does and how our actual consulting worked out, as you mentioned, in practical work? Yeah.
So the rationale for that study comes from the fact that Africa contributes the least to global carbon emissions, but yet Africa is the most vulnerable to adverse climate effects. So that also then means there's a big investment requirement to not just mitigate but also combat adverse climate effects. And at the same time, most African governments are already highly indebted.
Yes.
They have limited fiscal capacity and also battle with access to international financing.
Right.
So African governments and their private sectors are unable to fund this big investment requirement themselves.
Yeah.
And it's then, so obviously then that means there's a gap.
Right.
There's a funding gap, and this is where Casablanca Finance City comes in. They have members of their own. So these members are international investment companies, asset managers, law firms, consulting firms, and just large corporations that have cross-border operations.
Yeah.
So they want to attract foreign investment from their members into Africa to help address this funding gap that I spoke of earlier.
Yeah.
So just maybe for a bit of context, Casablanca Finance City is an international finance city.
Yeah.
And there's a few of them. I think Rwanda also has one, Mauritius also has one, and South Africa. But an international finance city is it's essentially a hub of financial services, but also other support services like legal, accounting, technical assistance, insurance, and so forth. So it's not just all about banks and loans and investments and so forth.
Okay.
So that hub is sort of then an agent that connects foreign investors with the opportunities that there are in Africa, and they help bridge that gap.
Okay, that makes sense. So then, like as you mentioned, our report helps them make their decisions. Could you maybe talk about, I know it's all about climate change. I know you, in the report, you go into quite detail, but you maybe could give us some tidbits, something that's really interesting from the report that we help advise them on, or something that you could highlight?
I think what was quite rewarding about the research project was that at the end of the day, there's a lot of talk about green financing instruments and green and sustainable investment projects in Africa. We know there's this big need, but at the end of the day, where exactly do you go and what is it that you do? Because obviously within green and sustainable businesses, there's a lot of different things you could pursue.
Right.
So the interesting thing for me out of the research was that at the end of the day, our report sort of gave a roadmap, or just at least some guidance, of to say, of all the opportunities and the potential that we see, these are the countries that you should focus on, these are the sectors you could then also look at. That was our final product, well, a part of it. But that's, for me, the most interesting part of it. So we looked at 5 sectors.
Yeah.
It was climate smart agriculture, climate resilient infrastructure, critical minerals, blue economy, and also sustainable energy systems. So then within each of those 5 sectors, we then said, okay, who has the biggest potential and who presents significant opportunities to be explored.
Right.
But then obviously, you will know, Jervin, as a political analyst, not all African countries are necessarily easy to go to, or
exactly.
they might have potential and opportunity, but it's difficult to really tap into that opportunity.
Yeah.
So we then also filtered those countries by looking at their business environments, their legal systems, the tax regimes, and just sort of the economic prospects and all sorts of other filters that our economic research then identified. And then we said, okay, after filtering countries through those indicators or those screens, which countries then have significant potential, but also good opportunity within those 5 different sectors that we looked at. And I guess the most rewarding part of the project was that our project lead, Dion Fourie, flew up to Casablanca in Morocco. And Casablanca Finance City invited some of their members, and he then presented our findings. So at the end of the day, these foreigners who are looking to engage in green and sustainable projects in Africa, through our research report that we then provided our client, they have a clear roadmap and guidance of where to go and what to do, essentially.
Sure. That's some very, very fascinating and really interesting work, Theo. So yeah, thanks for giving us an idea on what consulting does, and I think that's leaving it there. Thanks for joining. Thank you for joining Africa Insight this week. If you'd like more information on our products or services, please visit our website or socials.